Considering retiring to Delaware? Well, then this video is for you. Let's go. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back for another edition of Living in Coastal Delaware. I'm your host, Matt Lunden, your Coastal Delaware Realtor, and today we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of retiring to Delaware. Before we dive into the video, if you are someone that's looking to make a move to the area, that's what I help you with every single day. I'd love to work with you. So my information will be down in the description and here on the screen. And then again, down in the description is the link to our Facebook group that we just launched, a way to get some questions answered and just really connect on a more personal level off of YouTube here. That way you can have all your questions answered and feel more comfortable when you finally make the move to the area. Now let's dive into the video. In 2020, United Van Lines, the moving company, did a study based on where folks were moving to and moving away from. And Delaware actually tied Montana as the #1 place for where retirees were moving to. South Carolina and Florida came in second and third, but Delaware and Montana actually tied as #1. So you're probably wondering, what's drawing people to the area, and maybe you're considering a move to the area yourself. Well, a big draw for that was the Delaware beaches and what Sussex County has to offer. So today I just want to take a dive into 5 pros and 5 cons of retiring here in Delaware. I'm going to hit with the pros first. Some of these are going to be statewide and some of these are going to be specific to the resort beach area, primarily where I'm at. So let's dive in. Number 1 on my list of pros, and probably the most prominent reason for folks moving to the area or retiring to the area, is going to be the taxes. We've got some of the lowest property taxes in the country. The average homeowner pays about $1,500 a year in property taxes. Obviously that's the average, so there's some higher and some lower than that. There's no sales tax, so when you go into the store and something says it's $1.99, you pay $1.99. And then our senior citizens, they don't see any income tax on their Social Security for the state portion. So, there's really quite a bit of savings as opposed to some of our neighboring states. So that's been the #1 reason we've seen people move here, is just for the tax advantages. Number 2 on my list of pros is going to be the outdoor activities. If you're someone that wants to stay active, is looking for ways to stay active, then Coastal Delaware is a good place for you. We've got plenty of hiking and biking trails, plenty of opportunities to take advantage of the state parks in the area with bird watching and just going for a nice stroll. And then we've got obviously the beach. You can go relax on the beach. We've got the bay where you can do some stand-up paddle boarding or some kayaking to stay active. There really is just a plethora of activities throughout the state and the coastal region for you to take advantage of that. For those looking to stay active, it really is a great place. You can do some of these activities year-round. Obviously in the winter you may have to bundle up a little bit, but you can really take advantage of everything that the outdoors has to offer. That brings me to number 3 on the list, which is going to be our mild weather. Most times our weather is pretty mild. Spring and fall are obviously the most ideal weather that we get. Winter does get a touch cold. We don't typically get a ton of snow, although I say that. And this year we've had 3 different storms with measurable amounts of snow, the most recent one being like 14 inches in Lewes. But we don't typically get that kind of snowstorm. These are kind of one-off things. Like I said, we got 3 of them this year, which is super rare. Hopefully it's not a sign of things to come in the future, but it is mostly mild. The summer is going to be hot and humid, which drives everybody to the water, the bay, the beach, to do a lot of those water-based activities just because it's hot and humid, or maybe the pool in your community. But it really is, it's mostly mild, especially compared to, again, some of our neighboring states who, don't experience the beauty of that. Number 4 on my list is going to be the number of retirement communities that we have here within the state of Delaware. We have over 60 55 and plus age-restricted communities here in the state. Those communities do vary in price point and what amenities they offer and location, but with over 60 of them throughout our little tiny state of Delaware, there's bound to be something that fits what you're looking for as far as lifestyle-wise. Like I said, there's plenty to choose from. And if you're someone that's looking for one of those age-restricted communities, more than likely we have one that fits your lifestyle here in Delaware. The fifth and final pro on my list is going to be the beaches. Probably the most notorious reason why people move to Delaware, aside from taxes, is they enjoy the beach. Our beaches are constantly winning awards for cleanliness and water quality. There's a great deal of pride in this area for keeping our beaches clean. So you'll see local businesses and local organizations running beach cleanups throughout the year in an effort to make sure it stays that way. It's something that we definitely keep our head high and held high on. But the beaches are a beautiful thing here, and again, probably the second biggest reason why people move here. Now we're going to dive into the list of cons. So first on my list of cons is probably the most notorious. If you're moving to the coastal region, you've probably heard about it already, but it's going to be the traffic. Traffic in the area, on the roads, in the summertime, it can be a bear. More than likely, if you're here year-round, the summertime travel times are going to be 2 to 3 times as long as they take you in the winter months, just because there's so many more people here in the summer on vacation, and we've got summer residents that may winter somewhere else. So the traffic on Route 1 and all the other roads, it can really be, especially in the coastal region, it can really be tough to deal with in the summertime. Number 2 on the list of cons is going to be the housing cost. Particularly in the coastal region, housing costs are high. Obviously they're up everywhere in the country right now, but in Rehoboth in particular, it's probably the most expensive zip code in the state. So if you're looking to move into the coastal region, Lewes, Rehoboth, Ocean View, Bethany, Fenwick, those kind of areas, if you're looking for a detached, fee simple home, not a townhome or not a condo, if you're looking for an actual detached home, you're going to be hard pressed to find one for probably under $500,000. There are some that you can find a little bit further away from the beach, but anything within relative, close distance to the beach, it's going to have a pretty hefty price tag to it. There's a lot of people moving to the area and a lot of people wanting to be as close to the water as possible. As we look west in the county and north in the county, we do find a little bit more affordable prices. But if you're wanting to be in and around the beach at all, it's definitely going to come with a pretty hefty price tag. It prices a lot of people out of the area that want to be able to enjoy it. And, it's just something to take into consideration when you're looking at places to move to. Number 3 on my list of cons is going to be the doctor and medical situation. Obviously, anytime you've got a high percentage of people moving to an area, new folks moving to an area, you're going to have a little bit of stress on, medical facilities and, public facilities. So we do have a little bit of an issue with getting into a doctor's office as a new patient. So I would advise, if you're considering moving to the area, or maybe you've gone under contract on a home in the area, I would start calling doctors, near that home that you're under contract on to try and, set up those appointments. So that way, when you do close on that home and you move down here, maybe it's only 2 weeks or 3 weeks until you can get in and see that doctor. If you're someone that requires regular visits, I would definitely advise setting those up prior to settlement, just so that you're comfortable with where you're at and you're not having to wait a couple months before you can get in the door at some of those offices, particularly the ones that may be close to your home. Number 4 on my list is going to be, they are building homes like crazy down here. While that may sound like it's a good thing, especially in my line of work, it comes with a cost. So the real downside of that is that a lot of the places they're building are farmland. So a lot of the beauty and farmland that people moved down here because they enjoyed, it's now going away, and you're starting to see homes go up where farms once were. It's inevitable as a part of growth of an area, but a big sticking point for a lot of people is that the farmlands are going away, and there's some stress on the environment just because they're building so many homes in so many areas that were farmland and that kind of stuff before. So it's a big sticking point for folks in the area that they hate seeing how many homes are going up. But the reality is that, it's just a part of the growing pains of an area. The final item on my list of cons is going to be, while Delaware is the second smallest state, we do have a pretty high population density. You may be wondering why that's a con. Well, there are some areas that are more rural than others, but if you're in any of the cities or down in the coastal region, you're going to experience, quite a bit of people, and that puts a stress on any public facilities, on the roadways. Even going out to eat, it makes it tough because there's just so many more people trying to experience those same things that you are. And it definitely puts a stress on the environment around us. We're a pretty big environmental area with various state parks and waterways and estuaries and that kind of stuff. As you see more people moving in, that just creates more pollution in an area and creates more stress on the environment overall. The population density, again, in the summer, it's definitely higher than it is in the winter, but it's growing as we see more people decide to call Delaware home year round. And it's just something that you're going to have to deal with. If you're looking for something more rural, we've got some areas in the middle of the state and in the west of Sussex County here that may fit that bill. But for the most part, Delaware is expanding at a rapid pace. That's going to do it for our list of pros and cons today, and on the reasons why to retire to Delaware. If you've got an idea of what you're looking to do retirement wise, please don't hesitate to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd love to work with you if you're looking to move to the area. And then sound off down in the comments and let me know some things that you like and don't like about the state. I'd love to hear from you. And then, as always, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell next to it. That'll keep you in the loop each week when we go live with these new videos discussing all things Delaware, and it really helps us out here on the channel. I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday. Peace.